Hey guys, and welcome to this episode of Pizza Plus Coffee Equals Code. On this episode, we get to talk to the awesome one-man band who brings you Starstruck, Hands of Time. For the people who might not know, could you give a quick rundown of who you are, what you do, and the game as well?
Yeah, sure. So my name is Max. I'm the director and programmer of Starstruck, Hands of Time. And what do? I sit in front of a computer for a very long amount of time, and I work on this video game with a bunch of very talented artists and composers.
And Starstruck, Hands of Time, it's not just a rhythm game, right?
Yeah, so it's a rhythm game and it's also a adventure game. So there's this whole world you can explore and talk to people, and you can take on the roles of different characters in the world and see it from different perspectives. And then on top of all of that, it's also a how do I even explain this? It's a sandbox destruction type game. So it's everything takes place in this miniature diorama world where these tiny little guitarists that are made of clay, and they go around their lives in this world where everything's made of popsicle sticks and stuff like that. And then when they get stuck, you can switch over to playing as this giant hand, and then destroy things that might be blocking their way. So it blends a bunch of different genres together.
I think that's probably the one piece I really wanted to get across to people because I've had a good look at the game and everything, and if anybody looks at it and goes, "Oh, it's just another rhythm game," it's not. It really isn't. Um, there is all this extra stuff to the side, and the pieces that stuck out to me was just how like quirky and humorous and batshit crazy, to use a phrase, that some of the out of the music or out of the rhythm part is. Did you have any sort of inspiration for some of that?
I'm glad you like that. Yeah, one of my um, worries when making the game was that the artists and the composers, the lead artist and the lead composer, they've done such an amazing job with their work. One of my worries is, oh my gosh, they're gonna make these amazing stuff. It's gonna totally overshadow anything I could possibly do with the characters of the story. So if that stuff was nice at all, I'm glad. So what was the inspiration? Well, I mean, if you're I grew up with a lot of games from the early 2000s, that kind of time from Japan, like console games like on the PS2 and that type of thing. And those games always were trying to do something strange, but is also very full of uh, raw energy. And I really liked that. And so probably I wanted to try to do something like that, and even blend together some things that I thought could work together well. And so that's how Starstruck came about.
If we rewind all the way back in time, what originally drove you to be like, "Hey, I'm gonna go make this game"?
Um, I mean, a lot of people want to make a video game, right? That's
Yeah.
it's not such a strange thing, but the opportunity just arose. I was already a software engineer, so I was already experienced with programming. And that being said, it turned out working on like you know middleware server type stuff is very different than making a video game. So I had a lot to learn. But so I was already a programmer, and I had started talking with some other people, artists and composers, and the opportunity came up, so I decided to pursue it.
I'm a software engineer myself, so I definitely get
Okay.
that. Very big difference. But when we're talking about a game like this, the first thing that comes to mind, song licensing. Is it even in the realms, or is it just something that's like too much of a nightmare to deal with on a grand scale?
What do you mean, like licensing songs to put in
Yeah, to
Starstruck? Is
put
that what
in.
um, so right now, all the music in Starstruck is original. And I have thought about maybe one or two songs that I thought really none of that is in the demo that's out right now, but I thought maybe in the future there are one or two songs that I think could really fit a situation. But in general, I there's so much original music in the game, and that was important we thought to the handmade feeling of the game because part of the story is that everything's in this handmade world, and the instruments in the music, a lot of them are live instruments, and we have live singers, and we thought that was important to the feeling and also to match with the story. So it goes wrong with the game's theme of originality and creativity. So probably song licensing won't be a major thing.
It's as you say, entirely original and creative, and let the original songs speak for themselves rather than buying something off the shelf.
Yeah. Also, song licensing can get very complicated from the little I've looked into it. So that's less of a headache too.
Yeah, it's a bit of a pain in the ass, definitely. Um, you guys put Starstruck, the prologue, out for free on Steam for people to play. What's the feedback you've been getting from that?
Yeah. So the demo or the prologue, it's about the first third of the story, and it's on Steam right now. You can play it for free. I think it's a pretty generous demo, actually. It's from it's like over an hour long, and it's a significant part of the story, and you get to really see a slice of everything in the game. And so I think it's a pretty generous demo. And in terms of the feedback, on Steam, it has like over 95% positive reviews, I think. In general, people seem to like it. One of the best things I saw, which I didn't even put this in the copy of or anything or in the description text, but one of the best things that felt the best to me was in the Steam reviews. Several people said this feels like a lost PS2 game, and I'm like, wow, that's the best compliment I could ever, the game could ever get. So I mean, there's definitely things I'm working. There's definitely some feedback that I've gotten about the game, like we want control remapping and stuff like that, which I could definitely do. But I've been pretty surprised by the positive response, actually.
Is it, or I guess, what is the sort of feeling when you do finally put this out there and it is positive? Is it a sort of a relief of people want to play what I've made?
Um, well, it was good to know that what I was trying to do with the game was people were getting the feeling that I wanted them to get. So it was good to see that like it was succeeding with some people in terms of achieving my goal. But in terms of like feeling like, well, this is awesome, so many people like it. I don't know. I think at the time I was too burnt out to have to stop and think about that. So didn't really have that type of feeling.
You are taking regular breaks now and not as burnt out?
Um, well, the thing about being an indie game developer is that's a little difficult to do.
Hmm. Gotta burn the midnight oil.
Sometimes.
Uh, in terms of a release, are we looking 2021?
Yeah, the release date is 2021. The prologue is about a third of the story, so good progress is being made. And there's a lot of stuff that even when I released the prologue, there's a lot of stuff that's already done that's just not in the demo right now. So yeah, the development is continuing at a really good pace, I think.
Um, and I guess harkening more back towards that, uh, being an indie developer, is this something that you are devoted to sort of 9 to 5, or is this something you're doing on the side afterwards?
This is what I'm doing full time right now. A little more than 9 to 5, but
Well,
yeah. So I'm the only one who works on it full time, and there artists and compose. I'm the only one who works on it full time right now. There's artists and composers who you know work on it too, but yeah, I'm the main full time person.
how do you, I guess, find that balance between working on the game and, I guess, making a livelihood when you're in the development cycle piece?
It's a tough balance. It really depends on every person's situation. Um, I mean, there, yeah, indie game development, it can be, very tough financially. It's getting more and more competitive all the time. So yeah, if someone's thinking about becoming an indie game developer, you should really think about you should really try to understand how competitive the market has becomes. Even every year it gets more and more competitive. So yeah, it's definitely not like how it was in 2013, 2014, that kind of time.
And the name of this podcast is from my software development background. Pizza plus coffee equals code. Because on those really late nights where you're crunching, you're burnt out. What keeps us going is pizza and coffee. What keeps you going in those tough nights?
Um, well, I don't eat dairy, so probably not pizza. But what about me? I listen to a lot of music. I mean, as a software engineer, you probably do that too, right? Just constantly listen to music, and that's part of actually how maybe I started to think about what if it was a game based around music, just because I listen to music so much. So music is a big thing. Um, and I'm also pretty bad in terms of like sleeping. Like I fall. It takes me. It's very hard for me to fall asleep, so that kind of works in my favor a little bit. Um, I guess that's about it.
I do have to ask, what genre of music? It's important.
Oh, well, take a guess. Yeah, I'll give you a hint. So I like a lot of genres, but one of my favorite is like prog rock concept albums.
Hmm.
And because I think those are so immersive, like you could just get lost in this. Even as a kid, I remember just thinking like, "This is incredible." You could just get lost in these. Um, so yeah, that's probably my top type of genre.
Hmm. I think it's a little out there, a little uh, creative and similar to the feel that we see in the game.
Yeah, prog
So
rock is sadly not the most popular genre anymore, but maybe one day it'll come back.
everything comes back eventually. You just gotta wait long enough for it.
Yeah.
Uh, with the development, obviously it's still ongoing. Was there anything that you maybe tried and it didn't work out or it didn't fit the game?
Oh yeah, I mean the game has changed so much over the course of it, um, and really this is the first game I've worked on. So I had so much to learn, and I had to change so much as it went on. Like originally, the part where you go around and destroy the world as the hand, that wasn't actually in the game at first, but that came about because we were developing the game and we started to create this world, and we had the idea of what if you could go around and destroy it. So much changes over the course of development like that.
And is that just conversations with mates or uh, other indie developers that sort of drive that?
Sometimes, yeah, sometimes it could be, mostly if it's a conversation, it'll mostly be maybe with conversations I've had with the lead artist or the lead composer. Other times it's just stuff that I will do myself. But yeah, it's really fun bouncing ideas back and forth with the different people involved. That's probably has been one of my favorite parts of working on the game.
Hmm. Uh, Rolling all the way back to music licensing, if somebody gave you an unlimited budget and you could buy the licensing rights for any one song, what is the one song that you would buy and put into Starstruck Hands of Time?
Um, I don't. Yeah, I'm not. I think I would just take that money and maybe just I don't know,
Use
like
it in other ways.
yeah, maybe use it in other ways. Like yeah, like I said, like having all the music be as much of the music as possible be original
Hmm.
and made especially for the game is something that I think is important for the concept of this game. Maybe if I was working on a different game, I'd want to license music, but for this one in particular, it feels like it would be it fits better to just have original music as much as possible.
Sweet. And if people wanted to learn more about Starstruck or play the demo, is there a link they can head to get more information?
No, this is the only place that people can find out about it. But no, so you can go to Steam. Well, if any of this sounds interesting to anyone, you can go onto Steam and just search for Starstruck Prologue, and you can play the demo right there and then. You can try it out for yourself, and You can also follow on Twitter. It's twitter.com/play Starstruck, and I regularly post development updates there.
Sweet. And any, I guess, final words for people who are maybe they're on the fence and they're thinking, oh, maybe I should give this a shot?
I don't know, what do people usually say here?
Some motivational words about how it's a great game. You should give it a try. You're gonna love it.
Uh, well, if you like games from that era of like the early 2000s, then you'll probably like this game. So just check it out, and it's free. So what do you have to lose? And I think there's not really a lot of games being made right now that are like this. So at the very least, I think it'll give you a unique experience.
Sweet. Well, thanks a lot for taking time out of your day to have a chat to us.
Yeah, thanks for talking with me. It was great. It was awesome.